Hello, good evening. Hello.
Good evening,
Good
madam.
evening, ma'am.
Hey,
Good
good
evening,
evening.
ma'am.
Okay, let me share the slide. Ah, Okay, so I have no idea whether there will be more students here. Could you please tell me, is this the first time that you all are together for a lecture?
No, madam.
No,
No, madam, this is the second time actually we have done psychology, educational
psychology.
psychology.
Okay,
Yes.
so then do you have an idea how many students are there all together?
Yes, maybe
Actually,
48 or something.
48.
yeah, 46,
Okay.
48. Yeah.
So that
48. Yes,
means
yeah.
we have to wait for some more minutes. Is it okay?
Yes, madam.
Sorry,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
We'll wait now. Yeah, at least by 7:35 like that. Let me check the time in the computer. Yeah. Now it is 7:32. We'll wait for another 3 minutes. Okay?
Madam.
Yes, madam.
Okay,
Thank
madam.
you. Okay. Okay, until other students join, still 31, shall we just have a small chat? Okay, so then you told before this lecture you joined educational psychology, and that is how you started your journey here at Apex campus. And then I also participated in your inauguration function, which was held online. I suppose most of you might have joined the program. Did you join the inauguration program?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. So most probably you all might have completed a diploma early, and or maybe something related to it. So that is why you thought of doing a degree. And at the same time, if my ideas are wrong, you can tell me, okay? Then I think you students may be from different part of Sri Lanka. Is it correct?
Yes, madam.
Yes, okay. Are there students from abroad?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, okay. So it's a nice combination. Hope you all should meet each other on your convocation, okay, which is going to be held one day at BMICH. Sorry, okay. Now we'll start. This subject title you can see, Teaching English as a Second Language. So that is the subject title. And your degree program is also called Bachelor of Education. Okay, so normally when you are following a degree, a B.Ed degree especially, you are learning lots of things on how to teach. Because normally the B.Ed degree program is very important for those who wish to be English teachers, English or teachers. So then while you are learning, reading for the degree, you will be getting lots of knowledge on how to teach different subjects, how to teach especially English language, and you will get to know about certain theories, the psychology, and then linguistic, and there are many more subjects. Okay, Hari. So among other subjects, what you are going to start today is teaching English as a second language. Okay, so if I brief you about me, my details are there. I'm Dr. Anusha Tennakon. I'm permanently working as a senior lecturer in English at SLIAT, Sri Lanka Institute of Advanced Technological Education. And in addition to that, I'm working as a visiting lecturer at university. And then my qualifications are here. PhD, I obtained my PhD from the University of Colombo, completed my MA at University of Kelaniya, and my basic degree is BA English special degree from the University of Jayawardhanapura. And my contact number is here. This is the only number which I am using. At the same time, email address is also there. And these things will be available in every lesson. So I am giving these details. If you have any doubt or if you want to communicate with me regarding anything, and this information is important. And I showed you my qualifications. That is to give you an idea that you are learning from a qualified person. I am not telling that I did not want to highlight I am qualified, but you have a right to learn under a qualified person. Hari, okay. Now we'll go to the topic, the lesson. Hari, okay. Okay. So there are 5 modules in this syllabus. So today we are with the first module. So I will be sharing the modules after the lecture, because I did not share it because I wanted to verify and clarify certain areas. Right. Okay, module 1. Okay, so then module 1 consists of 2 subtopics. 1.1 is theories of second language acquisition. Okay, second language acquisition, in brief, we write SLA abbreviation. Under this, you have 4 theories to study: behaviorism, cognitivism, constructivism, humanism. Okay, these 4 are second language acquisition theories. Okay, so 1.2, factors affecting second language acquisition. So there you have learner factors, socio-cultural factors, affective factors, 3 types of factors. Okay, so these things are under module number 1. Okay, so then I told you there are nearly 5 modules in the subject. So we are having, I believe, through my experience, maximum 12 days to complete the stuff. 12 days means 24 hours. With
Can't hear you, madam.
Okay, I'm sorry, something happened. Technical error actually. Now I hope you all can hear me. Am I audible?
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Sorry for the inconveniences. They were out of our control actually. Let me open the slides and share them. Module number 1. Let me share you the purpose of this subject. I was trying to show it to you. At that time only the problem started. Okay. So I have shared with you a PDF. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So here, the purpose of learning this subject is, here you can see, wait. Here you can see these things. Yeah, wait. To understand fundamental principles of language acquisition. Identify and analyze the needs and learning styles of diverse ESL learners. ESL means those who are learning English as the second language. Then plan and deliver effective ESL lessons using a variety of teaching methodologies. Develop and utilize appropriate teaching materials and resources. And then assess students' learning and provide meaningful feedback. Create a culturally sensitive and inclusive learning environment. Reflect on teaching practices and identify areas for professional development. So those are the objectives. These objectives are very important for teachers. Okay, I will share all these things. Once again, back to the lesson. So this is what I was explaining to you. Under first module, we have 2 subtopics. And under 2 subtopics also, there are many subtopics. Okay, now here we'll first go to the theory, behaviorism. Okay, so just read and get some idea. Okay, the purpose is to give you a general idea of the theory. Okay, so then when you finish reading, let me know, because this is not a physical class, but still we can have some sort of communication. Okay, once you finish reading, let me know it orally, or else you can put a message into chat box. Finished reading or something like that, or done. The easiest way, done. Hope the message is done. Okay, very good. So, behaviorism is a very famous theory of second language acquisition. So, here, everything we talk is with reference to English language, because English is our second language. So, that is how English function in Sri Lanka. So, when we pay our attention to the history, English language was made the second language of Sri Lanka, in 1943. Even before the independence. We received independence in 1948. And English language was made the second language of Sri Lanka in 1943. The decision was taken by a committee chaired by Dr. C.W.W. Kannangaran. Or just imagine 1943 to 2024. How many years? Mathematical knowledge. It's nearly
81 years.
80 years or 80 years over. It's over. More than 80 years. Okay, so whatever we talk here, as I told you earlier, that is with reference to English language. Okay, behaviorism. So this behaviorism theory is a theory about second language acquisition. It's not about first language. So this particular theory states all behaviors are learned through conditioned interaction with the environment. So all behaviors are learned through conditioned interaction with the environment. People learn through environment. So people learn when they interact with the environment. But here the environment is not what we normally define as environment. Okay? That means in Sinhala we call parisaraya. The meaning is okay, but that is not only trees, rivers, mountains. Okay, that is not that narrow. So the behavior is simply a response to environmental stimuli. So that I suppose you can easily understand. So our behaviors are actually responses to environmental stimuli. The stimuli, in Sinhala we call, I know there are Muslim students also, am I correct? Are there Muslim students?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
About your Sinhalese vocab?
A little bit.
Little bit, okay. Hari, okay. So I will explain in English. So stimuli will give you a kind of stimulation. Okay, so then because of a stimuli only, we will do something. In Sinhala, I don't know Tamil. That is my problem. Okay. Stimuli in Sinhala we call uttejanaya. Okay, so then our behaviors are the results of environmental stimuli. So just think about this. So then, the small children, they will touch flames. So when there is a candle, they will touch. And then when they touch, it's very hot and they get burning sensation. So they will take their hand back. Okay, that burning sensation is the stimuli. Did you get an idea?
Understood, madam.
Okay. The behaviorist theory is only concerned with the observable stimulus. Okay, in our environment. there are two types of stimulus. One is observable, other one is unobservable. So for an example, we will see, I will give you one example. So one of your friend is very moody, sad looking. But you cannot understand the reason unless your friend tells it to you. Because her moodiness or her sadness is a behavior to an unobservable stimulus. Then we don't know why. But there are stimulus which are observable. So under behaviorism, we are considering only the observable stimulus response behavior. Hope that is also clear. So then, but whenever you have a doubt, you are free to ask questions, even though this is online mode. I really love the students who ask questions. Okay, so if you are confident and if you are having facilities, I mean the good data connection, you can ask it orally. If not, you can put the problem into the chat box. Okay, we'll proceed. Done. Okay. So under behaviorism, as I told you early, observable behavior is considered. So there are certain other theories, especially theories related to psychology. You told you started learning educational psychology. You might have heard of Jean Piaget, Sigmund Freud. There are many more psychologists. And then the schema theory, okay, the cognitive theory. So then there are other theories which deals into internal mental status. Okay, so there are theories which talk about internal mental status. But behaviorism focuses mainly on what we can see and measure. Okay, so then there are theories which talk about unobservable behavior. But behaviorism focuses only on observable behavior. So that is the idea. And then another feature is learning through conditioning. Behaviorist, that means those who are having behaviorist ideas, they think, they believe the learning occurs, the learning happens through conditioning. Conditioning here, you can understand, we put conditioner to our hair also. So here the conditioning means a process where the consequences of a behavior influence whether it is repeated. Okay, just understand conditioning. Conditioning means sometimes human beings, we repeat our behavior. Okay, so the conditioning, it refers to a process where the consequences of a behavior influence whether it is repeated. So when we show a behavior, we will receive a response, result. Consequences means result. So then for an example, we'll say the small children, when they start crying, the parents will give them some sweets, something eatable to control them. So what do? They will repeat the behavior. So that is the reality. So when they receive some favorable, positive responses, they will repeat the behavior. Okay, so then dog training, you for an example, the training animals. So then when we watch their shows, we think that they are very clever. No, they were punished and they were given compliments. That's why they are following the or repeating the behavior. So then you might have seen this dolphin show or yeah, and the elephant show. So whenever they perform what the trainer asks, they are treated. So if it is fish, they are given small fish to eat. So that is why they do the things properly. Okay, did you get an idea?
Yes, ma'am.
Later we'll talk how these things are related to the field of education. Here. Read, I will wait. Yeah, while you are reading, I will type something which I forgot to type. Yeah, I will type. Okay. Automatically the slide changes. Okay. I will go back to the earlier slide. Okay, no, correct. So then key figures. So there are different psychologists who contributed to the theory of behaviorism that you have to understand, because we can't learn about everybody here. Okay, so the key figure. So here we are talking about this person because he is very important here to the things which we are talking. Okay, so key figure, B.F. Skinner. So he was an American psychologist actually. He was born in 1904 and he was dead in 1990. He died in 1990. Okay, because I have taken his name because we are talking about learning through conditioning. So he was the one who contributed to this section a lot. Otherwise, if somebody asks you who is the father of behaviorism, that is John B. Watson. He was the one who started the theory. After him, there were many more figures. Okay, so according to B.F. Skinner, the core principle, the basic principle of behaviorism is called stimulus response. Okay, stimulus S, response R. So simply we say SR, stimulus response. So according to stimulus response, this is a principle, core principle, the main principle of behaviorism. It suggests that external cues, that means stimulus, trigger our reaction, responses. Okay, so then external stimulus trigger. You know what trigger? So then you know, if you have seen guns and if you know about guns, so there is a trigger. So when we touch it, only the bullet will go out. In Sinhala we call kokagassanava. You might have heard of. Okay, so trigger. So then external stimuli works as a trigger for the responses. One example is given. Imagine a bell ringing. The ringing of the bell is the stimuli. Before you get food, yeah, reward. Okay, so then before you get food, the bell will be ringing. Okay, so when you hear the ringing, the saliva will come to your mouth. Okay, so that means in anticipation. Okay, so then here the bell ringing will talk about dogs. So when trainee dogs, when the lunchtime or the meal time come, the owners will ring a bell. So then when the bell is ringing, the dogs will automatically get saliva into its mouth. Okay, bell ringing is the stimulus. Response is coming saliva into the mouth. Okay, think about it and tell me whether it is clear. Is it clear?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
We'll go further because there are nice examples in the field of psychology and even behaviorism theory, but we can't talk about all these things. Right. So then the next one is reinforcement. Yeah, just see what it is. Yes, one student has asked a question, Madam, do we need to take down notes or will you send us the PPT? Yeah, I'm sending everything, no need of writing. If you like to write, I don't mind, but I will be sharing these slides with the management and then soon they will give it to you. And I'll try to send these slides early also, if possible.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, related to the previous slide,
Yeah.
sorry to bother you. It
No,
is like the second one that means
yeah.
the bell ring and the saliva is coming. So that one you made it stimulus and reward and response. So you made three stages, no?
No. That means bell ringing is the stimulus.
Yes.
Making the dog or making you salivate is the response.
Okay, so it's mentioned that the before you get food, it's a reward. So stimulus, a reward, and response. There are three stages, like how we are describing. Oh, am I getting wrong? Sorry.
No, correct, no problem. So, but here the basic principle is actually stimulus response.
Okay.
Before you get food. So that is reward, that is called reward also, but here the core principle is stimulus response.
Okay, right. Okay.
But you are telling is correct, but the main focus should be stimulus and response.
Response. Okay, two stages we are calling about.
But reward is, here it is mentioned reward because after bell ringing, that we will get the food or the dog will get the food. But sometimes later, when we go deep into the theory, I don't have time to do this because there are many more. Sometimes the bell ringing only, the reward is not there.
Okay. Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, sometimes when the owner wants to have the dog close to him, maybe he is ringing the bell and then the dog will misunderstand and then will come. Then there is no reward.
Okay.
Okay, that's
So
why
that means no response is there.
Yeah, no response. Response is there, but no reward.
Okay.
There are conditions like that. Hari, is it okay?
Yes, ma'am. Got it. Thank you.
Okay. I hope you read this, even though I did not get any message. Hari. Okay, yeah. Okay, no issue. Reinforcement. So then reinforcement is something similar to feedback. Okay. The consequences of our responses play a crucial role. So then when we respond, we will get some consequences, results. Okay, so then if we get positive consequences like praise or reward, there is a tendency to repeat the behavior or the response. Okay, so then that's why we say, so when children do something good, so we should appreciate them. We should reward them. Okay, so then only the students will be repeating good behavior. And opposite of that is also there. So when a student, let's imagine, did something bad, the bad behavior. So we have to reject the behavior. Sometimes we have to punish them. So they will not repeat it. So that is what is meant by reinforcement. So when we receive positive responses, positive feedback to our behavior, we will repeat the behavior. When we get negative consequences like punishment, we will not repeat it. Is it clear?
Ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go further. Now we'll see how we can apply behaviorism in the field of education, English language learning. Okay, we'll see. So then, application of behaviorism, how behaviorism is practiced in the field of language education. You might have heard of particular method called audiolingual method. Okay, so this particular method, which was used to teach languages, was very popular in mid 20th century. Okay, so then this audiolingual method, it was very popular during mid 20th century, and this method was basically based on behaviorism. Okay, we'll see how it happened. Drills and repetition as stimuli. So under audiolingual methods, drills, you know what drilling and repetition, they were used as stimuli by teachers. Okay, so that under this method, repetitive practice of grammar structures and dialogues. So grammar structures, they were repeated by the teacher. Okay, so then while repeating, the students will have kind of exposure and acts as a stimulus for the learner. So then hearing, they learn. Okay, I will give you one example. Just imagine the teacher taught the students simple present tense. So teacher will explain the rules and other things. After that, the teacher will be drilling sentences with the students. Just like that, teacher will say, she goes to school. The whole class will say, she goes to school. Then he goes to school. The whole class will repeat what teacher is telling. Then teacher will say, they go to school. We go to school. They like that. So then students will notice, okay, with she, he, it's goes. IVU, they, it's go. Okay, that is how the students will learn the language through exposure under audiolingual method. And the drilling and repetition, they acted as stimuli. And the repeating the sentences, that will be the behavior. So as a result, the proper behavior actually, because of repetition and drilling, the students will use the grammar point properly. That is not with broader understanding. That's not, understanding is not meaningful there actually. That is due to drilling and repetition, audiolingual method. Okay, so drilling and repetition we can take as the environment also. Condition, environment. Are you confused? Or tell me whether you got some idea. I know you can't understand anything fully, but at least to some extent.
Yeah, miss, up to some level, just got the idea.
I got the idea. Okay, we'll
Yeah.
see. Hari. Here, positive reinforcement for correct responses. Yes, we'll see positive reinforcement and for correct responses. So then, when teacher is using drilling, when students are producing correct responses, the students will get positive feedback. The teacher is very happy. Teacher will say, okay, very good children, you are doing it well, very good, well done, just like that, praising. And this reinforcement, that is the feedback actually, it strengthens the students' association between the stimulus means drilling, and the desired response, the correct answer. If I give you some more example for audiolingual method, so then the teachers who used audiolingual method, they did something like this, and teacher will teach students, when you want to show one object, you have to use this is. When you want to show more objects, you have to use these are, or something like that we'll say. Then teacher will say, this is a book. Then the whole class will say, this is a book. These are books. Okay. So then teacher will say some more. Teacher will say, this is the teacher will show a pen. Then students will say, this is a pen. Then teacher will show them more pens. The teacher will say, these. Then the students will repeat, these are pens, like that. Okay, so when teacher is giving positive feedback, the students will be encouraged and they will be uttering the sentences correctly. Okay, that is the meaning of positive reinforcement for correct responses. So what we are learning now is audiolingual method, which is used to implement the idea of behaviorism. Okay. Okay, we'll see. So then under audiolingual method, the learners are encouraged to mimic, that means speak like native speakers pronunciation. So there was a time actually like that during mid-20th century. Even the second language learners were supposed to pronounce English word like native speakers. So in Sri Lanka, the received pronunciation, it was very popular. Received pronunciation, that is British English actually. So that's what we receive from them. So even Sri Lankans were expected to talk like British people. So during audiolingual method, actually, the teachers, they encourage students to pronounce words just like native speakers. Teachers were pronouncing the word first, and the students were supposed to pronounce the same way. But now things have changed. Okay, so then now what is accepted in the world is actually no English pronunciation is better than another English pronunciation. In other words, no English is secondary to any other English variety. Otherwise, in the past, British English is the best. And then American English. Indian English is not good. Just like that, they have an opinion. And because Indians are having that R pronunciation, they will say, we are going to an Indian airport. That's natural. So in the past, people look at it in a negative way. But according to the modern acceptance, Indians are having Indian English. We Sri Lankans are using Sri Lankan English. So then Pakistani people, they are using Pakistani English. So all these varieties are equally respected. But audiolingual method, it was focusing more on native-like pronunciation. The audiolingual method that helped for that. Okay, so then you see further. If you have a doubt, you can ask. Okay. So then, under audiolingual method, limited use of learners' native language. So, yeah, done. Okay. Audiolingual method, it discourage using native language of the learner inside the class. That means in English language teaching classes, the students were not supposed to talk in their mother tongue. So the purpose of this is to create an environment where target language becomes the stimuli. Because when students were not allowed to use their mother tongue, anyhow they have to use the target language, English language to talk. Okay, so that was there under audiolingual method. Okay, we'll go for a summary. Okay, so even though we are talking here the audiolingual method, remember the audiolingual method is not 100% fair method to teach English language, because there were some drawbacks of audiolingual method. That's a former method of teaching English. Okay, so then it's not fully used today. Maybe some features of audiolingual method are used by the teachers. Okay, so then for an example, one weak point of audiolingual method is overemphasis on drills. So drilling was given more priority under audiolingual method. But nowadays, drilling is not considered as a very good method of teaching actually. Because what they argue is when we train students to drill and repeat, the students will not be creative. And there may be students who do not like drilling. And drilling is not satisfactory with all the students. There were lots of criticism on audiolingual method. So one is overemphasis on drills. Second one is another weak point highlighted by critics on this audiolingual method is focus on drills over communication. So when we are learning a language, the main focus of learning a language should be for communication. But under audiolingual method, rather than the purpose of communication, the students were paying more attention to drilling. Okay, so then because of drilling, the students will repeat the sentences properly. But problem is that they are unable to produce responses to real world conversation. Inside the class, when teacher is drilling, students are 100% correct. But when they happen to face normal conversation in the real world, they got stuck. So that is one complaint. Okay, so as long as drilling is continued, the students are okay and they will follow the drilling. But their creativity is very less, so they can't face real world conversation. Okay, so then another complaint is limited learner focus. So drilling is the audiolingual method, under audiolingual method, drilling is only one particular learning style or teaching style. That means all the students will not like drilling. And drilling may be okay with some students, not with all the students. You know, there are different students, different learning style. The visual learners are there, auditory learners are there, kinesthetic learners are there. I suppose you know these things. Okay, so then audiolingual method is okay for auditory learners only. So what about visual learners? What about kinesthetic learners? So they will not be happy about this. Okay, now I will summarize what we learned under behaviorism. Okay, so I will summarize. So after that, if you have questions, you can ask once again. Okay, so module number 1, theories of second language acquisition. There are many theories. We started doing behaviorism. So behaviorism is a learning theory, and it believes that learners learn through conditioned interaction with the environment. So that is the basic idea of behaviorism. The behaviors are learned through conditioned interactions with the environment. Okay, so there are 2 types of behavior: observable behavior, unobservable behavior. But behaviorism concerns only observable behavior. Okay, so the focus on observable behavior, learning through conditioning. Then we got to know the father of behaviorism is John B. Watson, but B.F. Skinner contributed a lot to behaviorism because he is the one who was focusing on stimulus response. Okay, that is considered as the core principle of behaviorism. Okay, so then this stimulus response means all our behaviors are responses to particular stimuli. And we discuss one example, ringing of a bell before a person get food or before a dog get food. Ringing of the bell is the stimuli. The response to the sound of the bell is salivating. That means saliva is coming to the mouth. And you might have seen sometimes when we take their plate, the football. So then when they see it, the saliva will come to their mouth. So they understand that they are going to have food. Okay. So then under behaviorism, we spoke about reinforcement. That means there are 2 types of consequences for our behavior. Some consequences are positive, some are negative. So when we get positive feedback, reinforcement means feedback, we will continue the behavior. When we take negative feedback, we will not continue the behavior. And then we talk about the application of behaviorism. So audiolingual method was heavily used to practice the theory behaviorism. And then we discuss about audiolingual method, the drilling and repetition. They were abundantly used under audiolingual method. And positive feedback was given by the teachers for correct responses. And then teachers encourage students to pronounce words like native speakers. For that only they did drilling, the correct pronunciation. And learners' native language was prohibited to be used in the class. And finally, we got to know even though audiolingual method was very popular during mid-20th century, there were some complaints against it. Overemphasis, the focus more on drilling than communication. The focus on learners is very much limited, and they were the things. Okay, now just tell me whether you have some idea about behaviorism.
Yes, madam.
Yes,
Yes,
okay. Now we'll go to the next theory, cognitivism. Okay, did you read the stuff?
Yes, madam.
Okay, so then give me the genuine feedback. I don't have any interaction with you. Today is the very first day. So I assume you are having the basic knowledge about these things. So you can express your idea. So you can put the messages into chat box, or even you can WhatsApp it to me, no problem. Okay, the cognition, the term is related to our brain. Okay, the theory cognitivism, it is directly related to our mind. So the theory of cognitivism is about how a person's mind receive, organize, save, and retrieve information. Okay, so then we receive information and we organize information. We save information, and whenever we want, we take them back. So where are these informations? So if you think, you may remember something that you learned in your childhood, maybe a small story like that. So where are they? Whenever you want, you take them back. From where? From your mind. Okay, so then the function of human mind is very, very complex. So we are living in a world where the computer, the technology, it has reached a huge advancement. So AI, artificial intelligence, so we are working with them. Okay, that much the world has developed. But whatever it is, no technology can be compared with our brain. Okay, so then there are huge libraries in the world. There are different cells, but no library can be compared with our brain, because our brain is the superior. Because there are different types of information we daily gather. And all this information, they are separately stored in our brain. They are nicely organized. The foolish things we did. Okay, so then intelligent actions we took. The things where we were cheated, or else occasions where we got cheated. Okay, so then how you help others, how your friends betrayed you. I'm just giving some example. All these things are separately stored in our brain. Organize, save, and retrieves means whenever a similar incident happens or whenever we want, we can take them back. Okay, so the cognitive approach looks beyond noticeable behavior. Now, can you remember? Under behaviorism, we were focusing on observable behavior. But under cognitivism, what we consider, they are not observable behavior. So that is beyond observable behavior. Okay, so under cognitivism, learning is considered as an internal mental process. Got some idea?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, I will quickly skip these things later. You can see. Okay, so then key figures of cognitivism, they are Jean Piaget. So then you started psychology. Definitely the relevant lecturer will talk about Piaget, Lev Vygotsky. So they were considered as key figures of cognitivism. So then Jean Piaget, he spoke about the importance of schemas. And then Vygotsky, he was talking about zone of proximal development. So then, as I told you, I'm just briefly telling you the stuff. No need of studying them very hardly. Not hardly. Hard. You have to study hard. So these are the core principles of cognitivism. Okay, finished. So then, core principles of cognitivism, under that, the schema. Okay, so schema, don't worry, it's a technical term. It's a technical term. Otherwise, now you can see the word in the dictionary, but basically it is a technical term. So then, cognitivism, it believes when we receive new information, okay, just imagine you read something or you encounter somebody in the society and you receive a new information. So what will happen to it? So the new information will go to your mind and it will be saved there on existing mental framework. Okay, so when you receive new information, your brain decides to where it is related. And it will go into your brain and it will deposit at the correct place. Okay, so then sometimes our brain modify our schemas to accommodate the new information. sometimes when we receive a new information, we think about it. Sometimes we modify it and save it in our mind. Let me check. I can give you examples for this. Okay, we say you met a new person. You don't know much about him. So then when you talk to him, it's you get new information about him. The person is new. But so then the new information will mix with our information in the brain. And through your previous background knowledge, you will decide, okay, this person is a good person. Sometimes you will say, even though he is smiling and nicely talking, he may be cunning, just like that. Okay, so then the new person, the information about new person will go to your mind and accommodate. And that how it went to your mind, maybe as a good person or maybe as a cunning person. That is how the schemas, the mental framework works. Okay, then another core principle of cognitivism is constructivism. It's a separate theory, but part is related to here. So then, according to this, according to cognitivism, according to constructivism, it is said that learners, the students, actively construct their understanding of the world through experiences and interactions. Okay, we construct new knowledge through our experiences and interactions. I think even you will agree. So our experiences will build new knowledge. Our interactions with the world and people will build new knowledge. Okay, so then before constructivism, there was a theory called passivism. Okay, so in the field of education, there are many theories. Under passivism, passivism is not here, okay, to learn. Under passivism, it was believed students are empty vessels. Just take what I am telling into your mind. Under passivism, the theory, students were believed to be empty vessels. Okay, when they go to grade 1 or when they start schooling, their heads are empty. That is what believed under passivism. The teacher's task is to fill these empty vessels with knowledge. The teachers are having knowledge. So what they are doing is filling these empty vessels. Okay, I suppose it is clear. But after passivism, constructivism came. They were opposite. According to constructivism, it was believed learners are not empty vessels. When they go to school, there is something in their brain because they were at home with family members, they were having friends. So they have already learned something. The learners' heads are not empty. What teachers are doing is building new knowledge on the existing knowledge. Okay, that is why it is said, learners actively construct their understanding of the world through their experiences and interactions. Constructivism is a positive theory regarding students, learners, but passivism is a negative one. Another principle under cognitivism is zone of proximal development. Okay, I will explain what it is. Don't get confused with these words. Okay, zone of proximal development means, so there is a gap between what a learner can do alone and what a learner can do with the support of the teacher. It's very easy. Don't get confused with these things. And just imagine there are certain, we'll see that the teacher assigns some work to a student. So there is a limit, there is a level that the students can perform it. At the same time, scaffolding means help. Okay, with the support of the teacher, the student can do something more. The gap between what students can do alone and what student can do with the support of the teacher maybe, or maybe parents, there is a gap, and that is called zone of proximal development. Okay, did you understand zone of proximal development? Zone of proximal development means what a student can do alone and what a student can do with the support of the teacher. Okay, you have understood. Okay, so then under behaviorism, we got to know audiolingual method is the way that behaviorism was implemented. The same way, cognitivism was implemented using task-based learning. Most of you might have heard of task-based learning. Okay, just read and understand. And okay, we'll see task-based learning. From the title itself, you can understand what it is. TBL, task-based learning. It emphasizes learners to use language for real world purposes. Under behaviorism, can you understand? Sometimes when audiolingual method is used, learners are not able to use language practically. Drilling, can you remember? So when students learn the language through drilling, as long as when someone is drilling, the students will be okay. But once they go to the real world, they can't use the language properly. Because when you are, why we are teaching these things actually, you should have a proper understanding about second language teaching. Because there are certain methods which should not be used. Okay, so then, but under task-based learning, students learn language through tasks and activities. So they will be comfortably facing real world usage of the language. So when they go out of the classroom also, they are okay in using language. Okay, so they can use language at different contexts, not only inside the classroom, not only when they talk with teachers, when they go to the bus stand, when they go to the market, everywhere, they can use language very well because they have learned it through task-based method, task-based learning. Okay, so then active construction of knowledge. So that occurs under task-based learning. So then you know what root memorization? The root memorization means remembering things by repetition. That is root learning. Under drilling, we can see root learning actually. They remember things through repetition. But task-based learning does not encourage root learning. So then the learners actively use their existing knowledge and skills to complete the task under task-based learning. And then this is really a type of strength actually. And they have a better understanding and they can face real world situations very well. Okay, so it helps to promote schema development, means brain development. So when we learn something through doing or by doing, when we learn something, the memory is very strong. That's the meaning of active construction of knowledge. Hari, okay. So, didn't you hear the earlier slide also when I was explaining? Hari, okay. Learning with ZPD, Zonal Proximal Development. Okay, TBL, that is designed to be challenging but achievable with support. Okay, this task-based learning is very challenging, but it's not impossible. It is achievable. Students can achieve it with the support of the teacher. Scaffolding means guidance, prompts, feedback, as a whole support. So then teachers should help learners complete tasks within their ZPD, zonal proximal development. Okay, so then that means what learner can do alone and what learner can do with the support of the teacher. But under task-based learning also, first learners will try to do it alone. Sometimes they will get stuck and there are some issues. Then the teacher helps them. So then they will develop. And then under task-based learning, the collaboration and interaction is there. Because together they learn. So they have to learn from each other and negotiate meaning. Okay, this is not individual learning. Task-based learning is not individual learning. Okay, so then they get help from others. So this is a kind of social learning and it helps to develop schemas, means mental structures, mental ability. So we are with cognitive theory. So when students learn through task-based learning, that affect positively their brain. So they will be very brainy. Okay, benefits of task-based learning we'll see. Okay, we'll see. So now we are going to talk about benefits of task-based learning. So it increased motivation because the students, they learn together. So they have activities, tasks. So they are together to perform the task. So it increases students' motivation and it improves, of course, communication skill because when they they work for achieving a task. They can't be without talking. They have to communicate with others. And then deeper understanding of language. Okay, so that as a result of task-based learning, the students will be getting a very deep understanding about language. So they will understand how language function in different situations, because they will receive different tasks, and then something just like the role plays, and one role play may be based on argument. Another task may be to perform negotiation, problem solving. Okay, so then asking questions. Okay, because of different tasks, the students' overall knowledge about language will be very deep. Okay. So I will explain once again cognitivism. I don't think learning more than 2 theories is good, as today is the very first day. Okay, just get an idea about cognitivism. So then cognitivism, the theory is about our mind, our brain. Basically, it is about how our brain receive, organize, save, and retrieve information. That's the message. What is that? Here, one is asking, did anyone get PowerPoint slides of previous lesson? Previous lesson, I don't think about my subject, maybe about psychology. That's how I understand. Okay. Okay, so that's what we got to know. It's about cognitivism is a theory about how our mind receive, organize, save, and retrieve information. And then we discuss, what is the message? Okay, so then Jean Piaget and Vygotsky, they can be considered as some prominent figures in cognitive theory. Jean Piaget, he was talking about schemas. Vygotsky, he was talking about zone of proximal development. Okay, so schemas, that is a theory about how our brain functions. Zone of proximal development means what a gap between what a students can do alone and what a student can do with the support of the teacher. And then,
Madam, can you repeat it?
I'll repeat here. You mean zone of proximal development?
Yes, ma'am. Zone of proximal development, and that one earlier you told that
Which one?
about that one.
Sorry? Schema.
Yeah, about schemas and zone of proximal development.
Okay. So then schemas, they are about, there is a theory also called schema theory. Schemas are about how our brain functions. Okay, so then there is a particular way how our brain functions. So that is spoken under schemas. Because we can't see a translation for schema.
Is that mental patterns, Mana?
Mental patterns, yes. Mental behaviors, we can take like that. Okay, so otherwise we can't have one-to-one a translation for our mother tongue. I don't know. I don't know whether there is a singular term for schemas. As you told, that is about mental patterns actually. Okay, so Jean Piaget, he was talking about mental framework, schemas, mental patterns, which is there in organizing knowledge. Then Vygotsky, he was talking about a concept called zone of proximal development. So there the idea is there is a gap between what a student can do alone and what the student can do with the support of the teacher. Okay, so that gap is called zone of proximal development. Are you satisfied with the answer?
Yes, madam.
Hari.
Now it's clear.
Hari.
Thank you, madam.
Okay, welcome. And then we talk about zone of proximal development. And then application of cognitivism we used. To apply behaviorism, audiolingual method was used. To apply cognitivism, task-based learning was used. Okay, the purpose of task-based learning is meaningful task actually. So learners are taught the language through tasks. Tasks are used to teach the language, in other words. So then the teacher will create different context, environment to use language. So all these things are based on tasks. So then task-based learning is positive actually. So under task-based learning, we can see active construction of knowledge. But under drilling, under audiolingual method, we can't see active construction of knowledge because drilling and repetition. So whatever teacher says, the whole class will be repeating. So the students will be having a knowledge. They will score good marks at the exam, but that is not active construction of knowledge. That is just imitating. The students will use be verbs properly. They will say, I am, he is, she is, they are, we are. But that is through rote learning, memorization, learning by heart, katapada. But that's not active construction of knowledge. But when students are learning through tasks, they can have active construction of knowledge. So then task-based learning is very challenging, but achievable with the support of teacher. So don't think under task-based learning, the teacher is relaxing and idling. No, it's very difficult to practice task-based learning. Normal teaching is easy actually. Audiolingual method is easy, but teacher has to plan how students should be engaged in activities. And then when students learn through tasks, the collaboration is there, interaction is there because they have to learn together, group. So they can't work alone because this is task-based learning. And then we discuss about benefits of task-based learning. So students are very active under task-based learning. But under behaviorism, under audiolingual learning, students are very passive. They are just like robots, just like machines. They are repeating what teacher says. But as task-based learning is an active learning method, the students will be motivated. They increase their motivation. And they can improve their communication skills because they have to talk when they are performing a task, when they are achieving a task. They have to talk. And as a result, under task-based learning, the learners will get a very deep understanding of language. Especially they will get to know how English language function at various contexts. It's not same everywhere. According to the context, we have to change the language. Okay, that's what we did, and we have some more theories. We will continue. If you have questions, you can ask. Your opinions can be put. I'm happy that you are telling it's very clear. And then as you have started doing a degree program, I know some of you may be employed. So this is not a traditional physical classroom. You have problems. But whatever it is, you are spending money and you are going to earn a degree. So mentally also you have to be qualified to follow a degree. Okay, so you will be learning new things, not only in this subject, in all the subjects. If you are learning the same thing which you learned under your diploma or at your previous places, there's no point. So learning is like this. When you are going to get higher qualification, you have to learn new things. And the most important thing is attending lectures, because I know pretty well when a student cannot participate in a lecture, online lecture, while it is going on, I don't believe that they will never go through recordings. Okay, the institute will upload your recordings to YouTube, or sometimes they will give you the link. But whatever it is, I don't personally believe the students will allocate 2 hours to see and understand a recording. So the best thing is actually, while the lecture is going on, the management might have informed you early when they are having lectures. Okay, so you have to participate in lectures. And if you have doubts and clarifications, you have to verify them on the spot. Okay, all right. So then the management has arranged another lecture tomorrow, but I informed them I will not be able to have it tomorrow because I am having one official work. I don't know whether it will drag to the following day also. Some workshops. Okay, Hari. Anything that you wish to ask? Okay, so go through these 2 theories. The next day when we are meeting, I will give you a type of MCQ questions on what we learned. Okay, then you can answer it, and then we can go to another topic. All right, then shall we wind up the session for today?
Okay, madam.
Okay, then have a nice time and good night.
Thank you, madam.
Good night, madam. Thank
Okay, good
you.
night.